Aloha. Welcome to Abley Seminars sessions. Today we're going to talk about navigable waters and the rights of the government to control dams and rivers. And navigable is defined as a river that is so wide and so big and deep that you can have ships go up and down carrying merchandise, like container loads of goods. There's only a few rivers in America where it's deep enough and big enough to carry cargo loads. The biggest one would probably be the Mississippi River. Then there's one on the northwest called the Columbia River, and on the northeast called the Hudson River. So those rivers are big enough that you can have ships going in and out, and they can actually carry container loads of goods, got trucks, buses, all kinds of stuff. All right? So that's called navigable. So if you own a big chunk of land, and your land includes the river, and you own part of Mississippi River, your ownership control goes to the riverbank. And anything in the water is under the control of the federal government. We go, that's not fair. Well, that's how it goes. All right? So now, let's say the government says, we need to harness this huge river that's coming down with tons of water flowing through. If we could turn that into the turbine and create energy, we can make electricity. Well, that's what happened with Hoover Dam. If you've ever been to Las Vegas and you have a few minutes, they have a tour of Hoover Dam. And I went to Hoover Dam several times because I don't gamble. And then what I saw was they rerouted the water flow of the Colorado River. Then they made the dam, then they pushed the water back through the Hoover Dam, and they had turbines with the water flow that was strong enough to create electricity. And I read that 10% of the electricity of all the states in the Colorado River get their electricity from Hoover Dam. That's amazing. But the federal government controls that, just like they control bridges and dams and rivers. So navigable is something that the federal government controls. But let's say you have a little bitty stream coming through, like Manoa Stream or Nuuanu Stream. That the government doesn't care. However, you cannot do certain things even with those rivers or streams because they have what they call riparian rights to the owners. So let's say you're downstream and your neighbor upstream dams the water and stops the water flow. That's illegal. You can't do that. So you cannot dam a river or a stream even though it's small. You cannot also change the direction of where the water is going to flow. That's against the law also. So there are specific rules about what you can do or not do with rivers. In Hawaii, we have the shorelines. We're the only state in the union where all four sides are controlled or surrounded by water. So Hawaii has very strict rules about what you can do on the waterfront. And Hawaii says that when there's what they call the high wash wave mark, waves come in and then deposit extra sand or dirt and make more land. That extra land is called accretion, and that belongs to the state of Hawaii. And the owner that is in front of that land says, hey, that's mine. No, it's not. State controls it. And also, anything to the ocean side of the high wash wave, or what they call the vegetation line, that is under the control of the state. And you as the owner, even though you own the land, you cannot stop people from coming onto your land that's on the ocean side of the vegetation line, and they can sunbathe on your lot, and you can't stop them because that is under the control of the state. So even though you own that land and you pay the taxes on it, it is not your control. It's a state control. Very interesting what they do with waterfront properties. So when you buy properties like that, you need to be careful because even though you have the money, and you love this beachfront property, just remember anything to the ocean side of the vegetation line or what they call the high wash wave mark belongs under the control of the state and not the individual owner. Hope you learned something new. Aloha.